Today, we will delve into the life and philosophy of one of history's most influential thinkers, Socrates. We'll discover his teachings, dialogue methods, and enduring legacy in human thought. Join us on this journey to wisdom. Socrates lived in 5th century BCE Athens, a period of profound cultural and intellectual growth known as the Golden Age of Greece. It was a time of remarkable achievements in art, literature, and philosophy. Athens, a city-state flourishing with democratic principles, was the epicenter of philosophical discourse, attracting thinkers from all over. Socrates, born circa 469 BCE, came from humble beginnings. His father was a sculptor, and his mother was a midwife, a profession that would later inspire his teaching method. He received a basic education in grammar, music, and gymnastics, typical for Athenian boys of that time. Socrates' appearance was quite distinctive, as historical accounts describe him as stocky and unimposing. Despite his unremarkable looks, he possessed an extraordinary mind and a relentless quest for wisdom. His fascination with knowledge and virtue led him to engage in conversations with people from all walks of life, from politicians and artisans to young and old alike. Unlike some of his contemporaries who wrote extensively, Socrates left no written records of his philosophical ideas. His teachings and insights were primarily transmitted through the dialogues written by his most famous disciple, Plato. It is through these dialogues that we gain insights into Socrates' unique approach to philosophy and his relentless pursuit of truth. Socrates' dedication to a philosophical life was not without controversy. He challenged conventional beliefs and traditional notions of authority, often questioning the knowledge and wisdom of reputed experts. His unyielding commitment to seeking truth and promoting critical thinking earned him both admiration and enmity. Despite his sincere intentions, Socrates faced accusations of corrupting the youth and impiety. In 399 BCE, he was brought to trial, and the Athenian jury found him guilty, leading to his eventual death sentence. Socrates' unwavering commitment to his principles, even in the face of death, has made him a symbol of intellectual courage and integrity throughout history. Through his intellectual legacy and profound influence on subsequent philosophical thought, Socrates remains a timeless figure whose ideas continue to inspire and challenge thinkers across the ages. In our exploration of Socrates' philosophy, we will dive deeper into his methods and teachings, uncovering the enduring wisdom that still resonates with us today. One of the distinctive features of Socratic philosophy is the Socratic Maieutic, a teaching method that sets him apart from his contemporaries. Socrates likened himself to a midwife, drawing inspiration from his mother's profession, as he believed his role was to assist in the birth of knowledge within his disciples. Rather than providing ready-made answers or imparting knowledge directly, Socrates employed a unique approach of relentless questioning. Through a series of probing inquiries, he guided his interlocutors to arrive at their own conclusions. This method of intellectual midwifery, known as the Socratic Maieutic, allowed individuals to discover truth and wisdom that were already within them. Socrates believed that genuine understanding and insight could only arise through self-examination and critical thinking. He sought to reveal the contradictions and inconsistencies in his interlocutors' beliefs, forcing them to confront the limitations of their knowledge. In doing so, Socrates aimed to foster humility and intellectual growth, urging his disciples to recognize their ignorance and the vastness of the unknown. The Socratic dialogues, as recorded by Plato and other ancient writers, offer vivid examples of this method in action. These dialogues often depict Socrates engaging in conversations with individuals from various backgrounds, including politicians, poets, and artisans. No topic was off-limits for Socrates. He explored questions of ethics, politics, metaphysics, and more, always with the intention of uncovering deeper truths. Through the Socratic Maieutic, Socrates challenged his interlocutors to dig beneath the surface of their beliefs and values, encouraging them to embrace intellectual curiosity and self-reflection. He believed that the process of questioning and self-discovery was essential for genuine learning and personal growth. Socratic Maieutic continues to be a foundational concept in the realm of pedagogy and philosophical inquiry. It has influenced modern educational methods that prioritize critical thinking and active learning. By inspiring others to become active participants in the search for truth, Socrates' legacy endures as a model for the transformative power of dialogue and introspection. As we continue our exploration of Socrates' philosophy, we will delve deeper into the fascinating world of Socratic dialogues and the profound impact they have had on the development of Western philosophical thought. Another central aspect of Socrates' philosophical approach was Socratic irony, a rhetorical technique he masterfully employed during his dialogues. In contrast to the traditional notion of irony as sarcasm or mockery, Socratic irony was a method of feigning ignorance to stimulate critical thinking and expose the gaps in others' knowledge. Socrates would often adopt an air of naivety or pretend to lack understanding of the subject matter under discussion. By assuming this posture, he would encourage his interlocutors to explain their beliefs in greater detail, revealing the underlying assumptions and inconsistencies in their arguments. This method of irony was particularly evident in Socrates' famous statement, "I know that I know nothing." Rather than claiming to possess great wisdom or knowledge, Socrates acknowledged his own ignorance as a starting point for intellectual inquiry. He recognized that true wisdom lies not in having all the answers, but in recognizing the limitations of one's understanding. Socratic irony was a powerful tool in challenging the overconfidence of those who claimed expertise without genuinely examining their beliefs. Through a series of thought-provoking questions, Socrates skillfully led his interlocutors to realize the gaps in their knowledge and the need for further exploration. One of the most well-known examples of Socratic irony can be found in Plato's dialogue, Meno. In this conversation, Socrates engages with Meno, a confident young nobleman, on the topic of virtue. Through a series of thought experiments and pointed questions, Socrates guides Meno to question his assumptions and come to a deeper understanding of virtue. Socratic irony also served as a means to disarm potential adversaries or critics. Socrates' disarming humility and sincere pursuit of truth made it difficult for his opponents to attack him directly, as he never claimed to be a superior authority or philosopher king. Instead, he positioned himself as a fellow seeker of wisdom, promoting an atmosphere of open dialogue and inquiry. The use of Socratic irony in philosophical discussions highlighted the importance of humility and intellectual modesty. Socrates aimed to instill in his disciples the virtue of recognizing their own limitations and being open to learning from others. This emphasis on intellectual humility remains an enduring lesson in the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. As we continue to explore Socrates' philosophy, we will encounter more instances of Socratic irony in action and its profound impact on shaping the nature of philosophical discourse. Join us as we uncover the intricacies of Socratic dialogues and the enduring relevance of Socratic irony in our pursuit of truth and wisdom. For Socrates, philosophy was not merely an abstract academic pursuit. It was a way of life. He firmly believed that the ultimate goal of philosophy was to improve the human soul and lead to a virtuous and fulfilling existence. Socrates saw philosophy as a practical endeavor that should be integrated into every aspect of one's life. Central to Socrates' philosophy was his famous aphorism, "Know thyself." He believed that self-awareness was the starting point for all genuine philosophical inquiry. Understanding one's own character, limitations, and beliefs was essential for personal growth and moral development. Socrates encouraged individuals to engage in regular self-examination and reflection. By questioning their own motives and actions, people could strive for greater self-improvement and align their lives with their moral principles. This emphasis on self-knowledge laid the foundation for ethical behavior and a life of virtue. In his dialogues, Socrates often depicted himself as a moral gadfly, challenging the citizens of Athens to question their deeply held beliefs and values. He saw his role as that of a philosophical provocateur, rousing people from their intellectual slumber and inspiring them to think critically about the ethical implications of their actions. Socrates' philosophy also emphasized the importance of living in accordance with one's values and principles. He believed that true happiness and fulfillment could be achieved by living a life of moral integrity and virtue. This notion stood in contrast to the prevailing cultural values of his time, which often prioritized wealth, power, and social status. Through his own example, Socrates demonstrated a commitment to living a simple and frugal life. He rejected material wealth and social prestige, choosing instead to prioritize the pursuit of wisdom and truth. Socrates' rejection of conventional ambitions and his focus on the intellectual and moral aspects of life continue to inspire those seeking a more meaningful existence. Socrates' philosophy also had a profound impact on the notion of education. He believed that education was not simply the acquisition of knowledge, but the cultivation of moral character and intellectual virtue. He sought to awaken the minds of his fellow citizens and instill in them a sense of ethical responsibility and critical thinking. Even in the face of his own trial and impending execution, Socrates maintained his commitment to his principles. Refusing to compromise his philosophical integrity, he chose death over renouncing his philosophical mission. His unwavering dedication to his beliefs has since become a symbol of intellectual courage and steadfastness. The legacy of Socrates as a philosopher and a moral exemplar endures through the ages. His emphasis on self-awareness, ethical behavior, and the pursuit of wisdom continues to resonate with those seeking a more examined and meaningful life. As we conclude our exploration of Socrates' philosophy, we recognize that his legacy is not confined to the distant past. His ideas and methods continue to stimulate intellectual curiosity and ethical reflection in our modern world. Socrates' enduring influence serves as a timeless reminder of the transformative power of philosophy and its capacity to enrich our lives and society. And thus, we have concluded our journey to wisdom through the life and teachings of Socrates. Thanks for watching.